Cancun, the glittering jewel of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, is far more than just the iconic image of turquoise seas, powdery white sand beaches, and towering resorts that many travelers picture when they hear its name. It is a place where ancient Mayan history converges with modern tourism, where Caribbean breezes carry whispers of both centuries-old rituals and the lively beats of today's nightlife, and where every traveler can find an experience tailored to their own rhythm, whether that is relaxation under a palm tree, exploration of mysterious ruins, or immersion into vibrant culture and cuisine. The story of Cancun begins not with the towering hotels or the bustling international airport that today welcomes millions of visitors, but rather with the Maya, who inhabited the region for centuries before European contact, leaving behind a legacy that can still be felt in the very soil, in the ruins scattered across the jungles, and in the enduring traditions of local communities. Before Cancun became a world-class resort destination, the Yucatan was known as a land of dense tropical forests, mysterious cenotes, those natural sinkholes filled with crystal-clear water that were considered sacred by the Maya, and coastal villages that thrived on fishing and trade. The word Cancun itself is said to be derived from the Mayan phrase Cancun, which has been interpreted as nest of snakes or place of the golden snake, though translations vary. Regardless, the name hints at the deep connection between the land and the ancient civilizations that revered it. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the Cancun we recognize today emerged from a bold vision by the Mexican government in the late 1960s, when planners identified this stretch of Caribbean coastline as the ideal location to develop a tourism hub that could rival the great resort destinations of the world. Back then, Cancun was little more than a sparsely populated island shaped like the number 7, surrounded by mangroves, lagoons, and pristine beaches, with only a handful of residents. Yet, through government investment, international financing, and a rapidly growing tourism industry, Cancun transformed within just a few decades into one of the most visited beach destinations on Earth. Today, Cancun boasts a hotel zone that stretches for over 20 kilometers, lined with luxury resorts, restaurants, shopping centers, and entertainment venues, while its downtown area, known as El Centro, retains a more local and authentic vibe, where travelers can find bustling markets, traditional taquerias, and a glimpse into everyday Mexican life beyond the polished resort facades. Yet, to truly understand Cancun, one must begin with its geography, for it is this setting that shapes so much of its appeal. The city is perched on the northeastern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula, facing the Caribbean Sea, with the Nichupte Lagoon separating the hotel zone from the mainland. This unique position grants Cancun its world-famous beaches, where the sand is composed of finely ground coral that stays cool underfoot even in the hottest sun, and where the water shifts from shades of aquamarine to deep sapphire depending on the light and depth. The region is also part of the second-largest barrier reef system in the world, the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, which stretches for over 1,000 kilometers and provides a haven for marine life, making Cancun a paradise for snorkeling and diving enthusiasts. Inland, the terrain is mostly flat, covered in lush jungle and dotted with cenotes, while to the south and west lie some of the most important archaeological sites of the ancient Maya, such as Tulum, Coba, and Chichen Itza, all accessible as day trips from Cancun. Beyond the landscape, the climate itself is a key element of Cancun's charm. Tropical and humid, with average temperatures ranging from 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 to 29 degrees year-round, and a dry season that makes for near-perfect beach weather from November to April, contrasted by a wetter season during the summer and fall months. The warm breezes, the rhythmic waves, and the scent of salt in the air all create a sensory experience that begins the moment a traveler steps off the plane. But first impressions of Cancun are not only shaped by its natural beauty, they are equally influenced by the energy of its people and the atmosphere that pervades its streets. Arriving in Cancun, one is immediately struck by the contrasts. The sleek modernity of the airport terminal welcoming flights from across the globe, the highway that swiftly carries visitors to the hotel zone, and then the sudden shift between the glittering facades of international resorts and the lively, colorful streets of downtown where taco stands, local craft shops, and bustling plazas offer an entirely different rhythm of life. For many travelers, Cancun serves as both a destination and a gateway. While some come solely to enjoy the all-inclusive luxury of their resort, others see it as a jumping-off point for adventures across the Riviera Maya and the greater Yucatan region. Regardless of the reason for arrival, Cancun leaves a strong first impression that blends relaxation and excitement, history and modernity, local tradition and global tourism. It is a place where one can sip a margarita by the pool while gazing out at the Caribbean horizon and just hours later, stand before the towering stone pyramids of an ancient civilization, contemplating the passage of time. This juxtaposition is what makes Cancun not merely a vacation spot, but a world unto itself, a microcosm of both natural wonder and human achievement. The transformation of Cancun from an uninhabited sandbar with a handful of fishermen into an international tourism hub is one of the most striking urban development stories of the 20th century, and understanding this meteoric rise provides essential context for any traveler hoping to appreciate the city beyond its postcard-perfect beaches. In the late 1960s, the Mexican government was determined to stimulate economic growth through tourism, recognizing that the country's Pacific resorts such as Acapulco had drawn international fame, but that the Caribbean coast remained largely untapped despite its immense natural potential. A special government agency called Fonatur, Fondo Nacional de Fomento al Turismo, or the National Fund for the Promotion of Tourism, was tasked with identifying sites suitable for large-scale resort development, and after extensive research, they selected Cancun, at that time home to fewer than 120 residents, most of them fishing families. The government's vision was ambitious: build a modern resort city from the ground up, complete with infrastructure, hotels, and an airport, transforming what was once mangrove swamps and jungle into a tourist paradise. International loans were secured from institutions like the Inter-American Development Bank, and soon construction began on what would become Cancun's hotel zone, Zona Hotelera, a long strip of sand separated from the mainland by the Nichupte Lagoon. Over the next few decades, this artificial creation blossomed into a booming industry, with high-rise resorts, restaurants, marinas, and shopping centers springing up to meet the demands of a rapidly growing influx of visitors. By the 1980s, Cancun had become synonymous with luxury, nightlife, and tropical escape, drawing tourists not only from North America, but also from Europe, South America, and beyond. Today, more than 20,000 hotel rooms line the hotel zone, and Cancun International Airport is one of the busiest in Latin America, handling tens of millions of passengers annually. Yet despite this rapid commercialization, the city's connection to its natural environment remains its most compelling feature. The beaches that originally attracted developers continue to be the #1 draw, and the reef, cenotes, and surrounding jungle provide experiences that no skyscraper could ever replicate. Cultural identity, however, is just as important as economic development when describing Cancun, for while the city is relatively young in its modern form, it is rooted in the much older traditions of the Yucatan and the Mayan people, whose descendants still inhabit the region today. The Yucatan Peninsula is home to millions of Maya, and in Cancun one can hear the echoes of this heritage, not only in the language spoken by many locals, but also in food, festivals, and artisanal crafts. In fact, many street names, neighborhoods, and even resorts bear Mayan names, subtly reminding visitors that beneath the veneer of modern tourism lies an ancient and enduring culture. For instance, dishes such as cochinita pibil, a slow-roasted pork marinated with achiote and citrus and traditionally cooked underground, are culinary legacies of the Maya that now appear both in humble market stalls and in upscale restaurants catering to international palates. Hand-woven hammocks, embroidered huipiles, traditional dresses, and obsidian jewelry are just some of the artisanal goods travelers might encounter in Cancun's markets, each piece carrying with it centuries of tradition. Festivals such as the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, and local town fairs also reflect a fusion of Mayan rituals and Spanish Catholic influences, creating a cultural landscape that is as vibrant as the turquoise waters themselves. For travelers who make the effort to venture beyond their resort, Cancun becomes more than a place to lounge in the sun. It becomes a gateway to a living culture that continues to thrive, despite the pressures of globalization and mass tourism. At the same time, Cancun is emblematic of contrasts between luxury and modesty, between the natural and the man-made, between the past and the present. The hotel zone, with its glittering towers, infinity pools, and private beaches, often feels like a world apart from El Centro, downtown Cancun, where everyday life for locals unfolds. In bustling streets filled with taco stands, local buses known as colectivos, and open-air markets like Mercado 28, a popular spot where tourists and locals mingle among stalls selling handicrafts, fresh produce, and traditional foods. While the hotel zone is designed to provide a seamless, curated experience for international visitors, where one can enjoy all-inclusive packages without ever needing to step outside, downtown Cancun offers a rawer, more authentic glimpse into Mexican life, with vibrant plazas, live music, and family-owned eateries serving steaming plates of tacos al pastor or freshly fried churros. This duality defines Cancun. It is both a polished international resort city and a genuine Mexican community. And the interplay between these identities creates a unique atmosphere that cannot be fully understood without exploring both sides. First, impressions of Cancun for most visitors begin at the airport, where the warm tropical air hits as soon as the sliding doors open, carrying with it the scent of salt, flowers, and fuel from the waiting taxis and buses. From there, travelers often find themselves whisked away along wide highways flanked by palm trees, passing billboards advertising excursions to Chichen Itza, Isla Mujeres, or adventure parks like Xcaret. Soon, the glistening Caribbean appears on the horizon, and the road gives way to the hotel zone's strip of high-rise resorts, each more extravagant than the last. For some, this immediate plunge into a world of luxury is precisely what they came for. Endless buffets, infinity pools overlooking the ocean, beach clubs pulsing with music, and a sense of escape from everyday worries. For others, however, Cancun's first impression is one of sensory overload, a dazzling yet artificial environment that begs for balance with something more grounded. That something is readily available for those who seek it. A quick bus ride downtown, a guided excursion into the jungle, or even just a conversation with a local vendor can shift the traveler's perception from that of a packaged resort destination to a place layered with history, culture, and natural beauty. And it is this layered experience that truly defines Cancun as a world-class travel destination. Unlike places that rely solely on one attraction, be it beaches, nightlife, or history, Cancun's strength lies in its multifaceted appeal. Its beaches rival the best in the Caribbean, its nightlife competes with party capitals like Ibiza or Miami, its cuisine reflects centuries of cultural fusion, and its proximity to ancient ruins offers a depth of history unmatched by many other resort cities. This combination means that Cancun is rarely just a one-time trip for travelers. Many return again and again, each time discovering something new, whether it's snorkeling in a cenote, attending a local festival, or exploring a nearby Mayan site. Cancun's ability to reinvent itself for each visitor, to offer both relaxation and adventure, both luxury and authenticity, is perhaps its greatest strength, and it is what has allowed the city to maintain its place as one of the top international tourist destinations for decades. To appreciate Cancun in its fullest sense, a traveler must understand its position not only as a modern resort city, but also as a gateway to the extraordinary cultural and historical legacy of the Mayan civilization, whose influence still permeates every corner of the Yucatan Peninsula. The Maya were one of the most sophisticated ancient civilizations of the Americas, flourishing for centuries before European contact, and their contributions to astronomy, mathematics, architecture, and agriculture are still studied and admired today. When visiting Cancun, one is never far from reminders of this civilization, whether in the form of massive stone pyramids rising from the jungle, or in the intangible cultural threads woven into daily life. The most iconic of these nearby wonders is, of course, Chichen Itza, one of the new 7 wonders of the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, located about a 2-hour drive inland from Cancun. Here, the towering temple of Kukulkan, El Castillo, dominates the central plaza, a step pyramid that served not only as a temple but also as an astronomical calendar aligned with the equinoxes. On those special days, the setting sun casts a shadow along the pyramid staircase that appears like a serpent descending, a testament to the Maya's mastery of celestial observation and symbolic architecture. For many visitors to Cancun, standing before this monument is a profoundly humbling experience, as it forces reflection on the sheer ingenuity of a people who thrived in these jungles long before modern tourism transformed the coast. But Chichen Itza is only one piece of the puzzle, for the entire region surrounding Cancun is dotted with ancient ruins that paint a broader picture of the Mayan world. Closer to the coast lies Tulum, a site dramatically perched on a cliff overlooking the Caribbean, where stone temples and defensive walls once protected a thriving trading port. Today, Tulum is one of the most photographed archaeological sites in Mexico, not only for its historical significance but also for its stunning natural backdrop of turquoise sea and white sand beach. Farther inland, the site of Coba offers a different experience. Here, dense jungle surrounds sprawling ruins connected by ancient sakbiab, white limestone roads, and visitors can still climb some of the pyramids, such as the towering Nohoch Mul, which offers breathtaking views over the canopy. For those seeking less crowded but equally fascinating sites, Ek Balam, Muyil, and El Rey, the latter located right in Cancun's hotel zone, provide further insight into Mayan architecture and society. Each of these ruins tells a story not just of stone and structure, but of a people who cultivated maize, built complex calendars, engaged in sophisticated trade networks, and developed spiritual traditions that honored gods of rain, fertility, and the underworld. The connection to the Mayan past, however, is not limited to archaeological remains. It lives on in the people themselves. Many residents of Cancun and the surrounding Riviera Maya are of Mayan descent, and their traditions, language, and worldview continue to influence the region. In local villages outside of the city, one may still hear the Mayan language spoken, see rituals performed in connection with the cycles of nature, or witness ceremonies held at sacred cenotes, which the Maya believed to be portals to the underworld. Xibalba. Cenotes were not only sources of fresh water, but also sacred spaces for offerings, ceremonies, and even burials. Today, these cenotes attract travelers for their natural beauty and opportunities for swimming, snorkeling, or diving. But to enter one is also to step into a space revered for centuries as a link between the human and the divine. The continued reverence for cenotes underscores how deeply the natural environment is tied to the spiritual identity of the Maya, and by extension, the cultural fabric of Cancun and its surroundings. For modern travelers, engaging with this Mayan legacy provides a counterpoint to the polished, internationalized face of Cancun's resort industry. It is easy to remain cocooned within the all-inclusive packages that dominate the hotel zone, but to do so risks missing the deeper essence of the region. To truly see Cancun is to recognize it not just as a city of beaches and nightlife, but as a place where history whispers from the jungle, where the stones of crumbling temples speak of cosmologies and empires, and where the descendants of those empires continue to live, create, and adapt in the modern world. This dual identity, one foot in the ancient past, the other in global modernity, is what gives Cancun its unique rhythm, its sense of being both timeless and contemporary. Travelers who step beyond the poolside loungers and cocktail menus are rewarded with encounters that enrich their understanding of not only Cancun, but also the broader human story of resilience, creativity, and cultural continuity. What strikes many visitors when reflecting on Cancun is the interplay between human ambition and natural beauty. The Maya built pyramids aligned with the stars, and modern developers built resorts aligned with the desires of international travelers. Yet in both cases, the foundation of these efforts was the land and sea that define this place. The Caribbean's turquoise waters, the coral sands, the lush jungle, and the hidden cenotes, all of these existed long before and will endure long after the structures built upon them. This perspective fosters a deeper respect for the fragility of Cancun's environment, which, despite its beauty, faces pressures from climate change, hurricanes, and the strain of mass tourism. Understanding Cancun in its fullest sense means acknowledging these realities alongside the pleasures of sun and surf, recognizing that the very elements that attract visitors are also the ones most in need of protection. Travelers who grasp this balance often leave with a richer appreciation, not just for Cancun as a destination, but for the larger story of how humans interact with nature, shaping and being shaped by it in return. As Cancun steps firmly into the 21st century, its identity continues to evolve, balancing its role as a global tourism powerhouse with its position as a cultural and ecological crossroads. Modern Cancun is home to more than 900,000 residents, a far cry from the few fishing families who once occupied this strip of sand. And with that growth comes both opportunities and challenges. Economically, the city thrives almost entirely on tourism, with millions of visitors arriving each year, generating billions of dollars in revenue that sustain not only local businesses but also contribute significantly to Mexico's overall economy. The hospitality industry employs tens of thousands, from hotel staff and tour operators to artisans, chefs, and guides, all of whom depend on the steady flow of travelers. Yet this heavy reliance on tourism also makes Cancun vulnerable to external shocks, be it hurricanes, global economic downturns, or events like pandemics that suddenly halt international travel. Such vulnerabilities remind us that beneath the glittering exterior of beachfront resorts lies a city that must constantly adapt, innovate, and diversify to sustain itself in an unpredictable world. From a cultural perspective, Cancun embodies fusion. It is at once proudly Mexican, deeply rooted in the traditions of the Yucatan and the heritage of the Maya, yet it is also undeniably international, shaped by decades of catering to visitors from every corner of the globe. Walking through the hotel zone, one might hear English, Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, and Russian all within minutes, reflecting the diverse clientele who flock to its shores. This cosmopolitan atmosphere creates a melting pot of influences. Global DJs perform at Cancun's clubs, international chefs reinterpret Mexican cuisine with modern twists, and festivals celebrate everything from electronic dance music to classical ballet. Yet amid this cosmopolitanism, local traditions remain vibrant. Downtown Cancun, with its plazas and community events, retains a sense of authenticity that resists being overshadowed by the hotel zone's international glamour. Street parades during Carnival, mariachi performances in city squares, and neighborhood food fairs keep alive the Mexican spirit that forms the city's heart. This interplay between local and global, between the intimate and the spectacular, creates a layered experience for travelers who venture beyond the surface. For many first-time visitors, Cancun's most immediate impression is one of abundance and choice. There is an overwhelming array of hotels, ranging from boutique hostels for backpackers to sprawling luxury resorts where guests never have to lift a finger. Restaurants offer everything from traditional Yucatecan dishes to gourmet international fare, while shopping centers like La Isla Shopping Village or Luxury Avenue provide both high-end boutiques and local artisan stalls. The nightlife, too, leaves a lasting impression. Cancun is often compared to Las Vegas or Miami for its pulsating energy, with mega clubs like Coco Bongo offering theatrical performances alongside dance floors packed until dawn. For others, the first impression may be quieter, perhaps a sunrise over the Caribbean, when the horizon glows with hues of pink and orange. The waves lap gently at the shore, and the city's usual bustle has yet to awaken. These contrasting first impressions highlight Cancun's greatest strength, its ability to cater to every kind of traveler, whether one seeks excitement, relaxation, cultural enrichment, or natural wonder. Yet to stop at first impressions would be to underestimate Cancun's depth. Beneath the surface lies a city grappling with environmental challenges that mirror those faced by many coastal destinations worldwide. Rising sea levels and stronger hurricanes threaten the fragile coastline, while the massive influx of visitors places stress on coral reefs, cenotes, and wildlife habitats. In response, Both government and private organizations have begun implementing conservation efforts, from reef restoration projects to eco-friendly tourism initiatives that encourage travelers to minimize their footprint. For visitors, engaging with these initiatives can transform their perception of Cancun, shifting it from a simple beach holiday to a chance to participate in the preservation of a unique ecosystem. Snorkeling tours that highlight reef conservation, cenote visits led by local guides who explain their sacred significance, and eco-parks that blend entertainment with education all serve to deepen the traveler's connection to the region. In this sense, Cancun is not just a playground but also a classroom, teaching lessons about the delicate balance between human enjoyment and environmental stewardship. Another layer of Cancun's introduction is the sense of accessibility and connectivity it provides. With a major international airport linking directly to cities across the Americas and Europe, Cancun serves as both a destination in itself and a gateway to the entire Riviera Maya. From here, travelers can journey south to Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, or Tulum, inland to Valladolid or Mérida, or north to Isla Holbox, each offering distinct experiences that expand the definition of a Cancun vacation. This connectivity reinforces the idea that Cancun is more than just a single city. It is the heart of a region, a launching point, from which countless adventures radiate. For some, the first impression is therefore not just of Cancun itself, but of its potential, a sense that one has arrived at the threshold of exploration. Whether one seeks ancient ruins, jungle treks, island escapes, or cultural immersion, Cancun provides the starting line for journeys that can be as diverse as the travelers themselves. Ultimately, what makes Cancun's introduction so powerful is its ability to evoke wonder on multiple levels. There is the immediate wonder of natural beauty, the endless horizon of turquoise waters, the powdery sand that cools beneath bare feet, the tropical breezes that whisper through palm fronds. There is the cultural wonder of encountering a civilization that built pyramids aligned with the cosmos, of hearing the Mayan language still spoken in markets, of tasting dishes whose recipes stretch back centuries. There is the social wonder of seeing a city where global influences mingle with local traditions, where one can dance to international music at night and watch a traditional Mayan ceremony the next morning. And finally, there is the personal wonder, each traveler's unique impression shaped by their own journey, whether it is a honeymoon, a family vacation, a solo backpacking adventure, or a once-in-a-lifetime escape. Cancun's introduction, then, is not a single narrative but a kaleidoscope of possibilities, each refracting the light of this Caribbean gem in a different way. As we close this first exploration into Cancun, it becomes clear that the city is much more than its reputation as a party capital or a resort strip. It is a place of contrasts and continuities, of ancient legacies and modern ambitions, of nature's splendor and human ingenuity. The introduction to Cancun is therefore not a brief moment but an unfolding experience, one that begins the moment a traveler arrives and continues to deepen with each step beyond the obvious. To see Cancun is to see not only what it is today, but also what it has been and what it strives to be. A meeting point of cultures, a bridge between past and present, and a reminder that paradise is as much about perspective as it is about place. Cancun's coastline is the canvas upon which the city's global reputation has been painted, a breathtaking stretch of sand and sea that has earned countless accolades as one of the most beautiful beach destinations in the world. And to truly appreciate the character of Cancun, one must begin with its beaches, for they are not just a backdrop to the hotels and nightlife, but the very essence of what draws millions here year after year. The sand itself is a marvel, soft, powdery, and composed of crushed coral. It possesses a unique property that sets Cancun apart from countless other seaside resorts. The sand remains cool underfoot, even in the hottest midday sun, allowing barefoot strolls without discomfort. This seemingly small detail becomes part of the sensory memory of visitors, who find themselves walking the shoreline for hours, marveling at how nature provides comfort in such an unexpected way. Beyond the sand lies the Caribbean Sea, an ever-changing, tapestry of blues that shift from pale turquoise near the shore to deep indigo farther out, with sunlight sparkling on the surface like scattered diamonds. The clarity of the water, a product of minimal river runoff and the filtering effects of coral reefs, allows swimmers and snorkelers to see well below the surface, where tropical fish flit among the coral, rays glide gracefully, and the occasional sea turtle emerges for air. Cancun's beaches are not just places to sunbathe but living ecosystems, reminders that the Caribbean is as rich beneath the waves as it is dazzling above them. The geography of Cancun's beaches adds to their appeal. The hotel zone itself is shaped like a number 7, and along this long, narrow strip are beaches that vary subtly in character, depending on their orientation and exposure to currents and winds. On the northern end, beaches like Playa Tortugas and Playa Langosta benefit from calmer waters, protected by Isla Mujeres across the bay, making them excellent choices for families with young children or those seeking a tranquil swim. These beaches often host ferry docks where boats shuttle passengers to Isla Mujeres, and the gentle waves create a welcoming atmosphere for paddleboarding, kayaking, or simply floating lazily on the surface. Moving eastward along the open Caribbean-facing side of the hotel zone, the beaches become more dramatic, with stronger waves and a wilder feel that appeals to surfers, adventure seekers, and those who enjoy the power of the ocean. Playa Delfines, for example, is beloved for its sweeping views, open sands, and the famous Cancun sign where tourists line up to snap photos with the Caribbean as a backdrop. Here, the surf can be rougher, but it provides a sense of grandeur and wild beauty that makes visitors feel small before the vastness of the sea. Continuing southward, the beaches near luxury resorts often offer curated experiences, private cabanas, attentive service, and sections of sand reserved for guests who want seclusion and exclusivity. Each stretch of beach along the hotel zone thus has its own identity, and part of the joy of exploring Cancun is discovering which beach resonates most with one's personal rhythm, whether it is the family-friendly calm of Playa Langosta, the photogenic energy of Playa Delfines, or the chic sophistication of resort-exclusive shores. Beyond the hotel zone, Cancun's coastline extends into areas that feel more authentic and less dominated by tourism infrastructure. To the north lies Playa Mujeres, a relatively new luxury resort area that offers expansive, tranquil beaches with fewer crowds and a more exclusive vibe. The sand here stretches endlessly, and the waters are calm, creating an atmosphere that appeals to those who want the Cancun experience without the density of the hotel zone. To the south, the Riviera Maya begins, an unbroken chain of beaches, coves, and bays that stretches all the way to Tulum and beyond, each with its own charm. For many travelers, a trip to Cancun includes day excursions to nearby beaches such as Puerto Morelos, with its small-town feel and excellent snorkeling just offshore, or Playa del Carmen, a vibrant hub with its own distinct character. These extensions of Cancun's coastline demonstrate that the region is not defined by a single stretch of sand, but by an interconnected mosaic of coastal experiences, each offering its own slice of paradise. What sets Cancun's beaches apart is not only their beauty but also the way they are integrated into the traveler's experience. Unlike remote or undeveloped beaches where one must bring everything themselves, Cancun's shoreline is designed to be accessible and enjoyable for all types of visitors. Resorts provide beachfront service, offering lounge chairs, umbrellas, cocktails, and snacks without guests ever having to leave the sand. Beach clubs create curated experiences with DJs, pools, and entertainment, blending the energy of nightlife with the serenity of the shore. At the same time, public beaches remain available for those who prefer a more casual, local vibe, where families bring their own coolers and spend the day under the sun. This diversity ensures that no matter one's budget, lifestyle, or preference, Cancun's coastline has a place that feels like home. The accessibility of these beaches is also a testament to the city's planning. While the hotel zone was designed to maximize tourist enjoyment, it was also structured to keep the beaches themselves public, meaning that even in front of luxury resorts, the sand and sea are open to everyone. This creates a sense of inclusivity that reinforces the idea that Cancun's natural beauty belongs not only to those who can afford 5-star hotels, but to anyone who arrives with a towel, sunscreen, and the desire to connect with the ocean. For many, the first encounter with Cancun's beaches is almost spiritual in its impact. The combination of endless blue horizon, the sound of waves rhythmically breaking, the sensation of cool sand between toes, and the warmth of tropical sun on the skin creates a sensory immersion that transcends words. It is no wonder that travelers return home with stories not just of parties or excursions, but of the feeling of standing at the water's edge, breathing in the salty air, and feeling an almost meditative calm. While Cancun's beaches are captivating for their beauty alone, they also serve as the launchpad for a dazzling array of activities that immerse visitors in the energy of the Caribbean. For some, a beach day means little more than reclining under a palapa with a cool drink in hand, listening to the steady rhythm of the waves. Yet for others, the shoreline is the starting line for adventure, an open invitation to experience water sports, marine exploration, and adrenaline-fueled fun. Perhaps the most iconic of these activities is snorkeling, an experience accessible to virtually anyone, whether novice or seasoned swimmer. Cancun's proximity to the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, the second largest reef system in the world, ensures that just a short boat ride from shore brings snorkelers face-to-face with coral gardens teeming with life. Vibrant parrotfish, angelfish, and butterfly fish dart among colorful corals, while spotted eagle rays glide elegantly across the sandy bottom. Some tours include stops at the Underwater Museum of Art, MUSA, a unique artificial reef created from more than 500 life-size sculptures submerged beneath the waves, designed both as an artistic installation and a conservation project. Swimming. Through this surreal underwater gallery, where statues become encrusted with coral and home to marine creatures, is an experience that combines creativity, ecology, and adventure in equal measure. For those seeking more depth, literally, scuba diving opens another world. Cancun's dive sites are renowned for their diversity, offering everything from shallow reefs perfect for beginners to thrilling drift dives where currents carry divers past walls of coral and schools of fish. Advanced divers often explore deeper wrecks such as the C-58 Minesweeper, a sunken ship that has become an artificial reef and home to barracuda, groupers, and moray eels. Night dives add yet another layer of wonder, revealing creatures that only emerge under cover of darkness. Octopuses, lobsters, and bioluminescent plankton that sparkle like stars in the water. Many divers describe their time beneath Cancun's waves as transformative, a reminder that the ocean holds mysteries and beauty equal to anything found on land. And because diving schools abound, offering certification courses and guided trips, even beginners can take their first steps into this underwater realm during a vacation. For those who prefer adrenaline above the water, Cancun's coastline delivers in spades. Jet skiing across the turquoise waves provides thrills and panoramic views, while parasailing lifts adventurers high into the sky, where the entire hotel zone stretches out below like a ribbon of sand separating sea from lagoon. Windsurfing and kitesurfing appeal to those who crave harnessing the Caribbean winds, combining athletic skill with the exhilaration of speed. Sailing, too, is a favorite pastime, whether aboard sleek catamarans heading to Isla Mujeres or traditional sailboats that glide gracefully over calm waters. Fishing enthusiasts will find Cancun a paradise, as the waters teem with species such as sailfish, marlin, tuna, and mahi-mahi, drawing anglers from around the globe for both sport fishing tournaments and leisurely day trips. Each of these activities reflects the versatility of Cancun's beaches. They are not just for relaxation but for discovery, challenge, and the creation of stories that visitors carry home with them. Yet Cancun's coastline offers more than human recreation. It is part of a vital ecosystem that sustains both marine life and the communities that depend on it. The reefs protect the shoreline from erosion, while mangroves in the Nichupte Lagoon act as nurseries for countless species of fish, crabs, and birds. Sea turtles are among the most beloved residents of Cancun's beaches, and between May and October, females return to the sands to lay their eggs in carefully dug nests. Several species, loggerhead, green, and hawksbill turtles, rely on Cancun's coastline as part of their life cycle, and conservation programs have emerged to protect them. Many resorts now participate in turtle release programs, where visitors can help release hatchlings into the sea, an unforgettable experience that connects travelers with the fragile balance of life in the Caribbean. Bird life also thrives along the coastline, from pelicans diving dramatically into the surf to herons stalking the shallows and frigate birds soaring overhead. Observing these creatures becomes a reminder that Cancun's beaches are not merely playgrounds for humans, but shared spaces where nature and people intersect. Another defining element of Cancun's shoreline is the contrast between the Caribbean Sea and the Nichupte Lagoon, which flanks the western side of the hotel zone. While the sea dazzles with its open horizon and ever-changing hues, the lagoon offers a calmer, more mysterious beauty. Its network of channels winds through mangroves, home to crocodiles, iguanas, and countless bird species. Sunset over the lagoon is a spectacle in its own right, with the sky painted in shades of orange, pink, and purple, as the last rays of the sun reflect off the still waters. For many, experiencing both sides of Cancun, the energetic, wave-swept beaches of the Caribbean and the tranquil, nature-rich lagoon, offers a more complete understanding of the region's coastal landscape. Tours often take visitors kayaking through the mangroves or speeding across the lagoon on small motorboats, offering a change of pace from the ocean while still immersing travelers in the aquatic environment that defines Cancun's identity. It is this fusion of beauty, activity, and ecology that elevates Cancun's beaches from mere scenery to central characters in the story of the city. They are spaces where the excitement of human adventure meets the quiet rhythms of nature, where families play in the surf while turtles nest in the sand just meters away, and where the same waters that thrill divers and sailors also sustain coral reefs and fishing communities. To walk along Cancun's coastline is to witness the convergence of worlds, natural and man-made, ancient and modern, tranquil and exhilarating. Each beach, each wave, and each breeze contributes to the tapestry that makes Cancun's shoreline not only famous but unforgettable. While Cancun's famous beaches within the hotel zone often capture the spotlight, those who venture beyond the well-trodden sands discover that the region's coastline holds a wealth of hidden gems that reveal different sides of its personality. One such treasure is Isla Blanca, a narrow spit of land located just north of Cancun, where the Caribbean Sea meets a tranquil lagoon. Unlike the bustling beaches of the hotel zone, Isla Blanca retains a wild, untouched character. Its sands stretch seemingly without end, and it is possible to walk for hours with little more than the sound of waves and the sight of seabirds for company. Kitesurfers adore Isla Blanca for its steady winds and shallow waters, while nature lovers find peace in its solitude, watching crabs scuttle across the sand and pelicans glide over the surf. This is Cancun at its most raw and elemental, a reminder of what the coastline looked like before development transformed the area. For travelers willing to step off the beaten path, Isla Blanca offers the kind of tranquility that many dream of but seldom find. Another lesser-known jewel is Puerto Morelos, located just a short drive south of Cancun. Though technically part of the greater Riviera Maya, its laid-back charm feels worlds apart from the high-rise resorts of the hotel zone. The town's beach is lined with fishing boats rather than nightclubs, and the reef lies just a few hundred meters offshore, easily reached by small boats for some of the region's best snorkeling. Puerto Morelos has cultivated a reputation as an eco-conscious destination, balancing tourism with sustainability, and its slower pace appeals to those who want to enjoy the same turquoise waters as Cancun, but in a more intimate, small-town setting. Walking along its pier at sunset or watching fishermen haul in their daily catch provides a connection to a way of life that predates Cancun's rise as an international icon. For those looking to combine urban energy with beach culture, Playa del Carmen offers yet another facet of the coastline. Once a sleepy fishing village, Playa has grown into a vibrant hub with its own cosmopolitan atmosphere. Its beaches are lively but not overwhelming, framed by beach clubs where travelers sip cocktails and listen to live DJs while the sea sparkles just meters away. Playa's famous Fifth Avenue, a pedestrian boulevard running parallel to the beach, ensures that fine dining, shopping, and nightlife are always steps from the sand. Yet even here, pockets of calm remain, especially at the edges of town where Quieter stretches of beach invite reflection. Playa del Carmen exemplifies the diversity of Cancun's coastline. In one direction lies the wild seclusion of Isla Blanca, in another the modest authenticity of Puerto Morelos, and here a balance of modern sophistication and Caribbean relaxation. But Cancun's coastline is not only about geography or activities. It also carries a profound emotional resonance that affects visitors in deeply personal ways. For some, the beaches symbolize escape, a chance to leave behind stress and routine and immerse oneself in beauty. The sight of endless blue horizon has a calming effect, reminding travelers of the vastness of the world and the smallness of daily worries. Others find inspiration in the energy of the surf, the feeling of waves crashing against their bodies like nature's embrace, reminding them of resilience and strength. Families create memories building sandcastles together. Couples experience romance walking hand in hand at sunset, and solo travelers find solitude in the rhythm of waves lapping against the shore. Each visitor's story becomes interwoven with the story of the coastline, making the beaches not just physical spaces but emotional landscapes that hold meaning long after the vacation ends. The symbolism of the shoreline also resonates on a universal level. In many cultures, the meeting of land and sea has represented transition, mystery, and renewal. In Cancun, standing at the edge of the Caribbean feels like standing at the threshold of possibility. The endless horizon suggests adventure, while the tides remind us of cycles larger than ourselves. Locals often speak of the beach as a place of healing, and indeed the combination of salt air, sunlight, and water seems to rejuvenate both body and spirit. Visitors who arrive exhausted often leave restored, carrying with them not only suntans and souvenirs but also a sense of inner clarity. This emotional impact is as much a part of Cancun's allure as its natural beauty, though it is less often advertised in brochures. It is not just what one sees but what one feels that defines the coastline. Cancun's lesser-known beaches also offer opportunities to connect with local culture in ways that polished resort strips may not. In areas where locals gather, one may find small food stalls serving ceviche made from freshly caught fish, or families sharing picnics under the shade of palm trees. Children laugh as they play soccer on the sand, their joy mingling with the sound of the surf. Musicians sometimes stroll along, offering songs for a few pesos, while artisans sell handmade jewelry crafted from shells and stones. These moments, though simple, reflect the deep relationship between the people of the Yucatan and their coastline. For them, the beach is not just a tourist attraction, but a part of daily life, a place for community, celebration, and connection. Travelers who join in these local experiences gain a richer understanding of Cancun, one that extends beyond the postcard image of luxury resorts into the heartbeat of the region itself. In this way, Cancun's coastline can be seen as a spectrum of experiences. On one end lies the high-energy hotel zone, with its glamorous resorts, beach clubs, and nightlife, catering to those who want excitement and convenience. On the other end lie hidden treasures like Isla Blanca, Puerto Morelos, and small local beaches, where simplicity and authenticity take precedence over spectacle. In between, a wide variety of options ensures that every traveler finds their place, whether it is a quiet cove for reflection, a lively stretch for socializing, or a wild expanse for adventure. This diversity is what makes Cancun's beaches truly world-class. They are not a monolith but a mosaic, each piece contributing to the greater picture of a coastline that is as complex as it is beautiful. If there is one daily ritual that captures the magic of Cancun's coastline, it is the spectacle of sunrise and sunset, moments when the sky and sea collaborate in a performance that never repeats itself. At sunrise, the Caribbean awakens in silence, the horizon glowing in soft pinks, oranges, and purples as the first light spills across the water. The waves, calm and glass-like in the early morning, mirror the sky's transformation, creating the illusion of walking along a ribbon of color. Few experiences rival the serenity of standing barefoot on the sand at dawn, hearing only the rhythmic lapping of water, breathing in the cool salt air, and feeling the sun's first warmth on one's skin. For many visitors, this moment becomes a form of meditation, a chance to reset before the energy of the day begins. The sunrise also symbolizes new beginnings. Honeymooners, families on vacation, and solo travelers alike carry the sense of possibility that a new day in Cancun always brings. At sunset, while the Caribbean side does not always provide the classic image of the sun dipping into the sea, the nearby Nishupte Lagoon offers a stage for equally stunning displays. As the sun descends behind the mangroves and skyline of Cancun, the lagoon transforms into a canvas of fiery reds and deep purples, its still waters reflecting the colors like liquid glass. Sunset cruises often drift through the lagoon, offering travelers a front-row seat to the spectacle, sometimes accompanied by the calls of herons or the splash of fish breaking the surface. The contrast between sunrise on the open Caribbean and sunset over the tranquil lagoon highlights the duality of Cancun's coastline, energizing and calming, vast and intimate, wild and serene. It is this daily rhythm of light and water that etches itself into memory, becoming one of the most enduring impressions of the destination. Yet the beauty of Cancun's beaches and coastline is fragile, and in recent decades, increasing attention has turned toward the need for environmental preservation. The very elements that make Cancun famous, its white sand, turquoise waters, and coral reefs, face threats from both natural forces and human activity. Rising sea levels and stronger storms, intensified by climate change, erode the beaches, while the sheer number of visitors places stress on ecosystems. Coral reefs, already vulnerable to bleaching, are further challenged by pollution, boat traffic, and careless snorkeling practices. Sea turtles, despite conservation efforts, remain endangered due to habitat loss and artificial lighting that confuses hatchlings. Even the sand itself requires protection. In some years, Cancun has had to undergo beach restoration projects, importing sand to replenish eroded areas. These realities remind travelers and locals alike that paradise is not permanent unless actively cared for. Conservation initiatives have grown in response. Local organizations, resorts, and international NGOs collaborate to promote sustainable tourism, encouraging practices that minimize harm while maximizing appreciation of natural beauty. Visitors are urged to use reef-safe sunscreen to protect marine life, avoid touching corals, and participate in programs like turtle releases that foster a sense of stewardship. Eco-parks such as Xcaret and Zelha blend entertainment with education, teaching travelers about the importance of preserving mangroves, cenotes, and wildlife habitats. The Underwater Museum of Art, aside from being an artistic marvel, also functions as a living experiment in reef regeneration, proving that human creativity can sometimes aid rather than harm nature. Hotels have also begun implementing eco-friendly initiatives, from reducing plastic use to treating wastewater and protecting dunes. These steps are not only about saving Cancun's coastline for future generations, but also about reshaping the visitor experience, transforming it from consumption to connection. For travelers, participating in these conservation efforts deepens the meaning of their vacation. Rather than merely enjoying the beach as a backdrop for relaxation, they become active participants in its preservation, forming a relationship with the coastline that endures long after their trip ends. Many return home with a new awareness of environmental issues, carrying lessons from Cancun into their daily lives. This shift reflects a broader truth. Cancun's beaches are more than beautiful. They are teachers reminding us of the delicate balance between human enjoyment and ecological responsibility. What ultimately makes Cancun's coastline unforgettable, however, is its ability to speak to every type of traveler in a language they understand. To the adventurer, it offers thrilling waves, diving opportunities, and hidden coves waiting to be explored. To the romantic, it provides sunsets, moonlit strolls, and moments of intimacy by the sea. To the family, it delivers joy through laughter, sandcastles, and shared discoveries of seashells or starfish. To the weary, it promises rest, healing, and the renewal that only sun, sea, and sand can provide. And to the dreamer, it reveals horizons that spark imagination, whispering of journeys yet to come. Few places on Earth combine so many layers of experience in one stretch of coast. And it is this versatility that keeps Cancun at the forefront of global travel. In the end, Cancun's beaches are not merely physical locations. They are emotional landscapes, places where beauty intersects with memory, where travelers encounter not only the sea but also themselves. They are at once playgrounds, sanctuaries, and classrooms, spaces where joy and reflection intertwine. The coastline embodies Cancun's identity as a destination of contrasts, ancient and modern, wild and curated, global and local. Each wave that breaks on the shore carries centuries of history and millions of personal stories, blending into a narrative that continues to evolve with every visitor. To walk along Cancun's beaches is to join that story, to leave a footprint, temporary, in the sand but lasting in memory. And so as the sun rises and sets each day over this Caribbean paradise, Cancun's coastline continues to invite the world to witness, to enjoy, and to protect its extraordinary beauty. If Cancun's beaches are the heartbeat of the city during the day, then its nightlife is the pulse that quickens after sunset, a transformation that has cemented the destination as one of the world's premier party capitals. As daylight fades and the Caribbean horizon glows with the last traces of orange, the hotel zone awakens with neon lights, rhythmic beats, and the collective energy of travelers ready to celebrate life beneath the stars. Unlike many coastal resorts, where nightlife is an afterthought, Cancun has built its reputation around an entertainment scene that rivals Las Vegas, Miami, and Ibiza, attracting a global crowd eager to experience its legendary vibrancy. To walk along Kukulkan Boulevard after dark is to enter an entirely different city. Streets lined with clubs blasting music, open-air bars inviting passers-by to dance, and throngs of visitors moving in anticipation of the night ahead. The atmosphere is electric yet welcoming, a reminder that Cancun is a place where strangers become friends over cocktails and where inhibitions dissolve into shared joy on the dance floor. The crown jewels of Cancun's nightlife are its world-famous nightclubs, each with its own unique character, yet united by an ethos of spectacle and energy. Coco Bongo, perhaps the most iconic of them all, is not simply a nightclub but a theatrical experience that defies categorization. Inside, acrobats swing from the ceiling, impersonators perform spot-on renditions of famous artists, confetti rains from above, and enormous screens pulse with lights and visuals. One moment guests may be dancing to Latin beats, and the next they are watching a reenactment of scenes from The Mask or a tribute to Michael Jackson. The unpredictability and scale of Coco Bongo make it more than a party. It is an immersive carnival where every sense is engaged. Visitors often describe it as the highlight of their trip, not just because of the music but because of the atmosphere of wonder it creates. Just down the road lies the City, one of the largest nightclubs in Latin America, capable of hosting thousands of revelers under one roof. Known for its mega parties and appearances by international DJs and performers, the City is where Cancun truly flexes its reputation as a global nightlife hub. Lights strobe across massive dance floors, the bass reverberates through the walls, and crowds surge in unison to beats that echo across the Caribbean night. For those who crave the intensity of a festival but within the contained space of a club, the City delivers an experience unmatched anywhere else in the region. It is here that music lovers lose themselves in sound and motion, a testament to Cancun's ability to import global trends while maintaining its own distinctive energy. Equally famous is Mandala, a club that epitomizes Cancun's cosmopolitan side. With its open-air design facing Kukulkan Boulevard, Mandala invites both intimacy and spectacle, offering a blend of luxury and accessibility. Its decor is exotic and colorful, its music eclectic, and its atmosphere unapologetically glamorous. Mandala is the kind of place where travelers dress to impress, where cocktails are as artful as they are potent, and where dancing continues until dawn. Next door, Mandala Beach Club extends the party to the sand, hosting daytime pool parties that blur the line between beach relaxation and high-energy entertainment. Foam parties, bikini contests, and international DJ sets ensure that the vibe flows seamlessly from sunlit fun to moonlit revelry. Together, Mandala and Mandala Beach create a 24-hour cycle of entertainment that epitomizes Cancun's party ethos. But Cancun's nightlife is not confined to megaclubs. It thrives in variety and inclusivity, ensuring that every visitor finds their ideal evening. Those seeking a more laid-back night often gravitate toward beachfront bars like Senor Frog's, where the mood is casual, the drinks are colorful, and the atmosphere encourages playfulness. Here, it is common to see conga lines forming spontaneously, karaoke echoing across the lagoon, or waiters engaging guests in lighthearted antics. The bar is as much about laughter as it is about music, reminding visitors that fun can be found in simplicity as well as extravagance. For those who want something in between, Cancun offers lounges and smaller clubs where salsa, bachata, and reggaeton dominate the playlists, providing opportunities to dance closely and connect through rhythm. These spaces highlight Cancun's Latin roots, allowing visitors to experience local culture not through sightseeing but through movement, music, and shared joy. The inclusivity of Cancun's nightlife also extends to its global diversity. Travelers from across the world converge here, bringing with them a mosaic of languages, cultures, and traditions, all blending into a single collective celebration. One night, a visitor may find themselves dancing beside a group of students from Europe, the next sharing a table with a family from South America, and the next raising a toast with honeymooners from Asia or North America. This diversity fuels the energy of Cancun's nightlife, making it not only about music or drinks but about connection across borders. In an era where global divisions often dominate headlines, Cancun's nightlife becomes a microcosm of unity, where differences are celebrated and common ground is found in the universal language of dance and laughter. Another element that defines Cancun's after-dark identity is its fusion of entertainment with spectacle. Unlike cities where nightlife is primarily about music, Cancun ensures that the eyes are as stimulated as the ears. Fire dancers perform on beaches, LED robots tower over dance floors, and light shows transform clubs into kaleidoscopes of color. This theatricality is not accidental. It reflects a philosophy that nightlife should be an experience rather than a routine. Visitors do not merely go out for drinks. They go out to be dazzled, to be surprised, and to be part of something larger than themselves. The result is nights that are remembered not for a single song or cocktail but for moments of awe, joy, and exhilaration. Cancun understands that in the realm of memory, spectacle leaves lasting impressions. Though Cancun is famous for its megaclubs and electronic beats, the city's nightlife is far more layered than neon lights and booming speakers. It is also a stage for live music that reflects both local traditions and global influences. Across the hotel zone in downtown Cancun, one can find venues hosting everything from mariachi bands, serenading guests with heartfelt ballads, to reggae groups filling beach bars with laid-back island rhythms. Latin music dominates much of the scene, and visitors often find themselves drawn into spontaneous salsa or bachata lessons, led by locals eager to share their culture. Some of the most memorable nights in Cancun unfold not in massive clubs but in small, intimate bars, where a guitarist strums under the stars, or a trio of musicians fills the air with melodies that seem to weave directly into the sea breeze. These moments create connections beyond dancing. They create atmospheres of storytelling, passion, and emotion, where travelers experience Cancun not just as a party capital but as a cultural crossroads. Beyond music, Cancun's nightlife embraces theatrical and cultural performances that add dimension to the evening. Dinner shows, such as those at themed venues or cultural parks, immerse visitors in the world of the ancient Maya, combining traditional dances, fire rituals, and storytelling with modern staging. Audiences are transported into myth and legend while enjoying regional cuisine, a marriage of entertainment and history that deepens appreciation of the region's heritage. Folkloric shows celebrate the diversity of Mexico's states through colorful costumes, dramatic choreography, and live mariachi accompaniment, allowing travelers to experience the breadth of the country's culture without leaving Cancun. Even within the clubs themselves, theatricality thrives. Acrobats descend from ceilings, dancers perform choreographed routines, and costumed performers blur the line between audience and stage. These experiences remind visitors that nightlife in Cancun is not just recreation, but performance art on a grand scale. For those who prefer something different from the high-octane atmosphere of the hotel zone, Cancun offers alternative nightlife experiences that appeal to quieter or more eclectic tastes. The city's downtown area, away from the glitter of the resorts, is home to cantinas, casual bars, and cafes where locals gather. Here, the pace slows, the prices drop, and the authenticity increases. Visitors who venture downtown might discover small venues where jazz musicians improvise deep into the night, or rooftop bars where conversations flow as freely as the cocktails. Art galleries occasionally host evening events, blending creative exhibitions with music and social interaction. For others, nightlife might mean strolling the Parque de las Palapas, a central square where food vendors serve tacos and marquesitas, crispy rolled crepes filled with cheese and sweets. Families enjoy live performances, and children play freely. These community spaces provide a glimpse of Cancun beyond tourism, showing the city as it exists for those who call it home. Not every evening in Cancun revolves around dancing or drinking, and the city caters to families and travelers seeking wholesome fun after dark. Many resorts organize evening shows designed for all ages, from circus-style performances to movie nights under the stars. Fireworks displays over the beach light up the sky on special occasions, delighting both children and adults. The interactive dinner experiences, where costumed actors engage audiences in storytelling adventures, are especially popular with younger visitors, turning mealtime into entertainment. Aquatic shows featuring dolphins or light-illuminated fountains captivate families who prefer spectacle over nightlife's more raucous side. Meanwhile, walking along the beach at night remains one of the simplest yet most profound pleasures for all ages. Listening to waves under the moonlight, searching for glowing plankton in the surf, or gazing up at constellations unobstructed by city lights. These experiences show that Cancun's evenings need not be wild to be memorable. They can be tender, peaceful, and shared across generations. One of Cancun's greatest strengths lies in its ability to balance contrasts within its nightlife. A single evening could begin with a romantic dinner at a candlelit seaside restaurant, shift into live music at a downtown cantina, then crescendo in the pulsing chaos of a mega club before ending with quiet reflection on the sand as dawn approaches. Few destinations allow for such fluidity, where travelers can craft their own rhythm depending on their mood. This balance also means that Cancun appeals not only to young party seekers, but to honeymooners, retirees, families, and even solo travelers, each able to find their own version of nighttime magic. The city's nightlife is, in this sense, a mirror of its beaches, diverse, inclusive, and infinitely adaptable. The social energy of Cancun after dark deserves special mention, for it is not only the venues or performers that make nights unforgettable, but also the people themselves. Strangers from around the world connect in fleeting but meaningful ways, dancing together, sharing drinks, exchanging travel stories, or singing in unison to familiar songs. These moments, often unplanned and spontaneous, become some of the strongest memories of a trip. The openness of Cancun's nightlife, where boundaries blur and joy is collective, creates a sense of belonging, even for those far from home. This is perhaps the greatest secret of Cancun after dark, its ability to remind us that celebration is not about spectacle alone, but about human connection in its most joyful form. For those who crave sophistication alongside excitement, Cancun offers a tier of luxury nightlife experiences that elevate evenings into exclusive affairs. High-end lounges and rooftop bars perched above the hotel zone with panoramic views of the lagoon and the Caribbean provide atmospheres where elegance takes precedence over volume. Here, champagne flows freely, cocktails are crafted with precision, and DJs curate soundscapes designed for ambiance rather than frenzy. VIP service is the standard, with private tables, bottle service, and attentive staff, ensuring guests feel indulged. These venues attract a stylish crowd, honeymooners, business travelers, and celebrities, who come not only to see Cancun, but to be seen. The decor often rivals that of metropolitan capitals with plush seating, mood lighting, and design that blurs the line between indoor chic and outdoor Caribbean breezes. In these spaces, nightlife is not about wild abandon but about refined pleasure, where conversations flow as smoothly as the drinks and the night unfolds with understated glamour. Another hallmark of Cancun's after-dark identity is its fusion of dining and entertainment, where meals become performances and restaurants transform into stages. Many venues along Kukulkan Boulevard combine fine dining with live shows, allowing guests to savor gourmet dishes while watching dancers, musicians, or acrobats perform. The flavors of Mexico, rich moles, fresh ceviches, perfectly grilled meats, are enhanced by the rhythm of mariachi bands or the spectacle of fire dancers. International cuisines are equally represented, from sushi bars where chefs perform theatrical knife skills, to steakhouses where meals arrive with dramatic presentations. These experiences reflect Cancun's global appeal, offering not only food but theater, ensuring that dinner becomes the prologue to a larger night of entertainment. For many travelers, these dinner shows provide the ideal compromise between relaxation and nightlife, immersive without being overwhelming, celebratory without requiring a dance floor. Seasonal events add yet another layer of richness to Cancun's nightlife. Spring break is perhaps the most infamous, when tens of thousands of college students from North America descend upon the hotel zone in March, transforming the city into a non-stop festival of pool parties, beach raves, and marathon clubbing sessions. While this period may not appeal to every traveler, it has undeniably shaped Cancun's global reputation as a party destination. Summer brings a different energy, as families and international visitors dominate, creating evenings filled with cultural shows and beachside gatherings. Autumn, with its slightly quieter pace, often sees themed events around Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, where altars, costumes, and performances honor ancestral traditions in both solemn and festive ways. Winter, particularly during the Christmas and New Year season, revives the party spirit with dazzling fireworks, gala dinners, and all-night celebrations that attract visitors seeking to end or begin the year in spectacular fashion. Each season reshapes Cancun's nightlife, ensuring that no two visits feel identical. Beyond regular tourism cycles, Cancun also plays host to festivals and international events that elevate its entertainment scene to global stages. Music festivals bring world-class DJs and performers to open-air venues, where thousands dance beneath the stars with the Caribbean as backdrop. Latin music festivals celebrate salsa, reggaeton, and cumbia, drawing enthusiasts from across the Americas to dance and compete. Culinary festivals pair gourmet cuisine with live entertainment, turning the act of dining into celebration. Even cultural festivals, such as those highlighting Mayan heritage or regional Mexican traditions, often blend into the nightlife, with performances continuing well into the night. These events transform Cancun from a city of parties into a city of festivals, where entertainment is not only a nightly occurrence, but an annual cycle of global gatherings. An important but often overlooked aspect of Cancun's nightlife is its ability to adapt to different rhythms of travelers. While mega clubs offer energy until sunrise, many venues cater to those who want an earlier night, providing happy hours with live music at sunset or family-oriented shows that conclude by 10. Couples seeking romance might enjoy a moonlit dinner, cruise on the lagoon, complete with violin serenades, while young travelers might join beach bonfires organized by hostels, where acoustic guitars and shared drinks foster community. Even within the same city, two travelers can have entirely different nights. One dancing in a crowd of thousands, the other sitting quietly by the lagoon watching the lights of the hotel zone reflect on the water. This adaptability ensures Cancun's nightlife is not defined by excess alone but by choice, offering options that range from the boisterous to the serene. At its core, what unites these varied experiences is Cancun's commitment to entertainment as an art form. Whether through luxury or spectacle, culture or chaos, every evening is designed to engage, to surprise, and to leave impressions that linger. Nightlife here is not simply an extension of the day, but a reimagining of what it means to celebrate. Cancun understands that people travel not only to see but to feel, and the emotions generated after dark Joy, awe, connection, liberation become as much souvenirs as photographs or trinkets. This philosophy is why, despite global competition, Cancun continues to stand at the top of lists of nightlife destinations. It offers not just parties, but experiences that blend setting, sound, spectacle, and spirit into unforgettable nights. For all its neon lights and pulsating music, Cancun's nightlife is ultimately defined by contrast, a duality that ensures it resonates with travelers of all temperaments. On one side, there is the unabashed chaos of megaclubs, where crowds move as one organism to the thundering beat of DJs, where confetti showers blur into laser beams, and where night slips seamlessly into dawn. On the other side, there is serenity. Nights, spent walking barefoot along the shoreline, waves glistening under moonlight, or sitting quietly on a hotel balcony with a glass of wine, listening to the distant thrum of the city. This spectrum is what makes Cancun unique. Its nights are not prescriptive but flexible, allowing each traveler to find their own rhythm. The same streets that roar with energy also branch into quiet corners, proving that Cancun is as much about freedom of choice as it is about spectacle. Many visitors discover that Cancun's nightlife can even become a spiritual experience, particularly when it intersects with nature. To dance on the sand with the Caribbean stretching infinitely behind you, to watch fire dancers perform rituals that echo ancient traditions, or to float in the Nichupte Lagoon beneath a canopy of stars is to feel connected not only to people but to place. These moments blur the line between entertainment and transcendence, reminding travelers that joy can carry depth. Some visitors describe Cancun nights as transformative, spaces where they shed stress, reconnect with their bodies through dance, or form bonds that outlast the trip. The wild abandon of a packed nightclub and the quiet awe of stargazing on the beach may seem worlds apart, yet both speak to the same human desire for connection, whether with others, with nature, or with oneself. The lasting emotional impact of Cancun's nightlife is perhaps its most surprising gift. Unlike daytime activities which often revolve around sightseeing or excursions, the nights are about presence and participation. Nobody remembers the exact playlist a DJ spun or the precise number of fireworks in a display, but they remember the laughter of strangers turned friends, the feeling of being swept into a conga line, the warmth of a lover's hand during a slow dance, or the sense of wonder at a sky exploding in light. These are memories that linger, not tied to a specific activity but to emotion itself. Cancun, in this way, becomes less a destination and more an experience, a living, breathing stage where nights are written in the language of joy. It is also worth noting that Cancun's nightlife plays a role in shaping its global identity. For decades, it has been a magnet for party seekers, a reputation fueled by media portrayals of spring break madness. Yet those who experience the city firsthand often leave with a more nuanced understanding. Yes, Cancun can be wild, but it can also be elegant, cultural, familial, or spiritual. This diversity ensures its resilience as a destination. While other party capitals rise and fade with trends, Cancun continues to evolve, offering new venues, experiences, and balances that keep it fresh for return visitors, while still dazzling first-timers. It is this ability to be many things at once that secures Cancun's place at the top of global nightlife rankings. In the end, Cancun's nightlife is not simply about entertainment, it is about human expression. It is the collective heartbeat of thousands who come to the city to celebrate, to escape, to connect, or to simply live fully for a night. It is the glow of neon on water, the echo of drums on sand, the clink of glasses raised in unison, the blur of 1,000 lights reflected in a single pair of wide eyes. It is a reminder that the night belongs not to darkness but to possibility, and that in Cancun, possibility is infinite. Whether one leaves with stories of all-night raves or quiet moonlit walks, what remains is the feeling of having touched something essential, joy, in its purest and most unrestrained form. To understand Cancun fully, one must not only walk its beaches or dance in its clubs but also taste its food. For cuisine is the deepest thread connecting the destination to its history, culture, and people. In Cancun, dining is not merely sustenance, it is storytelling, a narrative written in flavors that stretch back thousands of years to the ancient Maya and extend forward to the globalized fusion that defines the city today. The culinary journey begins with the land and sea that surround Cancun, the turquoise Caribbean providing endless bounty of fish, lobster, shrimp, and octopus, while the fertile Yucatan Peninsula yields tropical fruits, corn, beans, squash, and chilies that form the bedrock of regional cooking. Each plate in Cancun, whether served at a street-side stand or in a luxury resort restaurant, carries echoes of geography and history, a reminder that food is not separate from place, but an expression of it. The Mayan influence remains especially profound, visible in the enduring presence of traditional dishes that have survived centuries of change. Staples such as maize, cacao, and honey were central to Mayan diets, and their use continues today in tortillas, tamales, chocolate drinks, and desserts infused with natural sweetness. Perhaps the most emblematic dish is cochinita pibil, pork, marinated in acayote paste and sour orange, then slow-cooked in banana leaves until tender and infused with smoky earthiness. This dish, still prepared in homes and restaurants across Cancun, reflects techniques passed down for generations, where food is not rushed but revered. The tangy brightness of pickled red onions served alongside cochinita cuts through the richness, creating a balance that delights modern palates just as it satisfied ancient ones. In every bite lies a story, of rituals, of family gatherings, of survival and celebration. Another cornerstone of the regional cuisine is the use of chili peppers and spices, not simply as heat, but as complexity. In Cancun's markets, one finds stalls overflowing with dried chilies, ancho, guajillo, pasilla, each with its own personality, ranging from smoky and sweet to fiery and sharp. These peppers form the basis of sauces and marinades that elevate meats, vegetables, and seafood into masterpieces. The celebrated mole sauces, though more commonly associated with central Mexico, find their place in Cancun's kitchens as well, showcasing the intricate layering of chocolate, spices, seeds, and peppers into savory harmony. Even the simplest street taco often reveals careful balance, the chili's bite tempered by lime juice, fresh cilantro, and the soft embrace of a handmade tortilla. To eat in Cancun is to understand that spice here is not punishment. It is poetry. The sea, of course, provides a parallel narrative. Cancun's position along the Caribbean ensures an abundance of seafood dishes that define its gastronomy, as much as Mayan heritage does. Fresh ceviches, where raw fish is cured in lime juice and combined with tomato, onion, and cilantro, deliver flavors as bright as the Caribbean sun. Grilled lobster, often seasoned simply with garlic and butter, becomes a delicacy savored under the open sky. Octopus, tenderized through careful preparation, takes on smoky flavors when cooked over open flames, reflecting the coastal tradition of fire and sea in harmony. Fish tacos, a seemingly humble offering, become sublime in Cancun, where the freshness of the catch elevates them beyond simplicity. For locals and travelers alike, the act of eating seafood in Cancun is more than dining. It is communion with the ocean that defines the city's identity. Markets and street vendors remain central to Cancun's culinary life, offering windows into the soul of everyday food culture. In downtown Cancun, the Mercado 28 and Mercado 23 bustle with energy as locals shop for produce, spices, and ready-to-eat meals. Here, authenticity reigns. Tacos al pastor carved from vertical spits, empanadas stuffed with cheese or meat, and marquesitas filled with Nutella or cheese rolled into crispy delight. These markets remind travelers that Cancun is not only about resorts and luxury, it is also about community, where food is shared, affordable, and deeply tied to local identity. Street food culture thrives because it is democratic, feeding workers, families, and visitors alike with flavors that are immediate and unforgettable. For many travelers, the most cherished meals in Cancun are not served on white tablecloths, but from modest stalls where the cook's skill transforms humble ingredients into magic. The rhythm of Cancun's cuisine also follows the tropical seasons, where mangoes, papayas, pineapples, and coconuts bring bursts of sweetness to meals year-round. Juices and aguas frescas, made from hibiscus flowers, tamarind, or fresh fruits, refresh the body under the Caribbean sun, offering flavors that feel both exotic and familiar. Corn, ground into masa, remains the quiet backbone of the cuisine, appearing in tortillas, tamales, and panuchos, fried tortillas stuffed with beans and topped with meat and vegetables. Beans and rice, staples across Mexico, take on local variations. Here, often seasoned with achiote or cooked in coconut milk, bridging the flavors of the Yucatan with those of the Caribbean islands. Every meal is an exploration of abundance, a reminder that Cancun's culinary identity is inseparable from the lush environment that sustains it. As modern Cancun grew into an international tourist hub, its gastronomy expanded beyond tradition to embrace fusion and innovation, drawing chefs from around the world who blend local ingredients with global techniques. Japanese sushi bars thrive alongside Italian trattorias, Argentine steakhouses, and French patisseries, reflecting the cosmopolitan character of the city. Yet even in these global influences, the imprint of Cancun remains. Sushi rolls feature mango or avocado grown in the Yucatan. Steaks arrive with chili-based sauces, and French pastries are filled with tropical fruits. The result is a cuisine that is global in scope but rooted in place, offering travelers both the comfort of familiarity and the thrill of discovery. This fusion mirrors the identity of Cancun itself, a city where cultures meet, exchange, and evolve without losing sight of their origins. Dining in Cancun, whether at a humble market stall or a five-star restaurant overlooking the sea, is ultimately an act of participation in the city's story. Each meal invites travelers to taste history, geography, and innovation in ways that words alone cannot convey. Food here is memory made tangible, carrying with it the laughter of families, the wisdom of ancestors, and the creativity of modern chefs. To eat in Cancun is to listen to its heartbeat through flavor, to experience the city not only with the eyes and ears but with the palate. It is a journey as essential as exploring its beaches or nightlife, for without tasting Cancun, one cannot claim to truly know it. To wander Cancun by day or night is to encounter a symphony of scents drifting from street food stalls, each one offering its own invitation into Mexico's culinary soul. Street food in Cancun is not simply a cheap option for locals. It is a vibrant expression of culture, one that travelers quickly fall in love with for both its authenticity and flavor. Among the most beloved offerings are tacos al pastor, prepared on vertical spits where marinated pork rotates slowly, kissed by flame until slices are shaved onto tortillas and topped with pineapple, onion, and cilantro. The balance of savory, sweet, and fresh makes them irresistible, and visitors often find themselves ordering plate after plate, unable to stop at just one. Alongside them, tacos de pescado, fish tacos, bring the essence of the Caribbean to the streets. Fresh-caught fish battered, fried, and dressed with cabbage slaw and tangy crema. These handheld treasures encapsulate Cancun's dual heritage, both inland and coastal. Equally popular are salbutes and panuchos, Yucatan specialties that showcase the creativity of local cooking. Salbutes are puffed fried tortillas topped with shredded turkey or chicken, lettuce, tomato, avocado, and pickled onions, while panuchos feature tortillas stuffed with refried beans before being layered with similar toppings. These dishes, often sold from modest carts or market stands, demonstrate the ingenuity of turning simple ingredients into complete and satisfying meals. Other street favorites include elotes and esquites, corn on the cob or in cups slathered with mayonnaise, cheese, chili powder, and lime, offering a snack that is as messy as it is delicious. In the evenings, the smell of freshly fried churros fills the air, sugar-dusted spirals that satisfy sweet cravings and pair perfectly with hot chocolate. To eat street food in Cancun is to join the rhythm of local life, sharing in the flavors that sustain workers, families, and late-night revelers alike. While street food embodies spontaneity and accessibility, Cancun is equally renowned for its fine dining scene, which has flourished alongside its rise as a global tourist destination. The hotel zone boasts an impressive array of restaurants where world-class chefs craft menus that rival those of major culinary capitals. Here, dinner is not merely a meal, but a performance, where plating is art, service is choreography, and flavor is innovation. Many fine dining establishments lean into fusion, blending Mexican traditions with European techniques or Asian influences. A seared tuna might arrive with a tamarind reduction and a hint of habanero, while a traditional Tamil could be reimagined as a delicate appetizer paired with a fine wine. Seafood dominates many menus, elevated with inventive sauces and presentations that highlight both freshness and creativity. Dining in these establishments allows travelers to see Cancun not only as a place of fun, but as a serious player in the global culinary scene, capable of surprising even the most seasoned food lovers. Equally captivating are dining experiences that merge environment with cuisine, transforming location into part of the meal. Lagoon-side restaurants provide views of sunsets over the Nishupte, while beachfront venues let guests dine with their feet in the sand as waves lap nearby. Rooftop terraces in downtown Cancun reveal a different side of the city, where the hum of local life replaces the rhythm of the surf. Some restaurants incorporate live music or cultural performances into the evening, ensuring that meals are not only delicious but immersive. In these spaces, food is part of a multisensory experience, one where sight, sound, and taste merge into memory. Travelers often leave such dinners with more than satisfaction. They leave with stories of moments that felt cinematic, where the setting elevated every bite. Food in Cancun also plays a central role in social rituals and connections, serving as the glue that binds families, friends, and even strangers. Meals are rarely solitary. They are communal events where conversation flows alongside dishes and time is measured not by clocks but by the arrival of courses. Breakfast might stretch into mid-morning over plates of huevos motuleños, eggs with black beans, salsa, and fried plantains, while lunches linger with bowls of sopa de lima, the regional lime-infused chicken soup that refreshes even in the boiling heat. Dinner, particularly in the company of loved ones, becomes an event, whether it is a street-side taco run or an elegant tasting menu. For travelers, joining these rituals means stepping into the rhythm of local life, where food is not rushed but savored, and where connection matters as much as flavor. Special attention must be given to festive meals and celebrations, for Cancun, like all of Mexico, treats food as inseparable from tradition. Holidays such as Dia de los Muertos see altars adorned with pan de muerto, a sweet bread decorated with bone-like shapes, while Christmas brings tamales and bacalao, salted cod, shared among families. Weddings often feature elaborate banquets that blend traditional dishes with modern twists, while birthdays and quinceañeras are incomplete without cakes and sweets that reflect both Mexican and international tastes. Even casual gatherings often center around food, grilling carne asada in backyards, sharing plates of ceviche on the beach, or enjoying ice-cold micheladas, beer mixed with lime juice, sauces, and spices, among friends. These rituals reveal food not only as sustenance but as joy, a language of love and togetherness that transcends words. For travelers, the act of eating in Cancun becomes a journey of immersion, a way to connect with culture on the deepest level. To try a dish like cochinita pibil is to taste centuries of history. To sip agua de Jamaica is to experience the land's bounty. To share tacos with locals at a night market is to feel part of a community. Even mistakes, ordering something unfamiliar, mispronouncing a name, or trying a chili hotter than expected, become stories to be retold. Food invites participation, and Cancun's culinary scene in all its layers ensures that participation is rewarding. Whether one seeks the thrill of street food, the elegance of fine dining, or the warmth of communal meals, Cancun delivers experiences that resonate long after the flavors fade from the palate. To grasp Cancun's culinary identity, one must spend time in its markets, which remain the heart of food culture, pulsing with energy and authenticity. Unlike the polished restaurants of the hotel zone, markets reveal Cancun as locals live it, vibrant, raw, and alive with tradition. Mercado 28, a sprawling maze of stalls downtown, is perhaps the most famous, combining craft shopping with an abundance of eateries where food takes center stage. Here visitors encounter steaming bowls of pozole, a hearty soup made from hominy and pork, flavored with chili and garlic and topped with lettuce, radish, and lime. Nearby, vendors grill meats for tortas, serve empanadas filled with cheese or chicken, and prepare plates of fresh seafood mariscos, all at prices far below tourist zones. The hum of bargaining, the sizzling of grills, and the aroma of spices create a sensory immersion that captures Cancun's soul better than any five-star dining room ever could. For an even more local experience, Mercado 23 offers a less tourist-oriented, but equally rich atmosphere. Early in the morning, fishermen deliver their catches, grouper, snapper, shrimp, which quickly find their way onto plates of ceviche or into the baskets of shoppers heading home to cook. Fruit vendors display pyramids of mangoes, papayas, pineapples, and guavas, their colors dazzling against the backdrop of woven baskets and hand-painted stalls. Spice merchants sell dried chilies, cinnamon sticks, and equiote paste wrapped in banana leaves, essential ingredients for Yucatan cooking. Walking through Mercado 23, visitors gain a glimpse into daily life, where food is not staged for spectacle, but embedded in routine. It is here, perhaps more than anywhere else, that Cancun reveals its authenticity, its beating heart beyond the resorts. Alongside food, Cancun has cultivated a thriving drinks and mixology culture, ranging from traditional refreshments to world-class cocktails. For non-alcoholic pleasures, aguas frescas reign supreme. These naturally flavored drinks, made from hibiscus flowers, Jamaica, tamarind, or fruits like melon and guava, provide a cooling, sweet reprieve from the tropical heat. They are staples of markets and family meals alike, consumed daily and enjoyed by all ages. Another ancient tradition that endures is atole and champorado, warm drinks thickened with corn masa and flavored with chocolate or spices, often enjoyed during festive occasions. These beverages connect modern Cancun to its indigenous roots, carrying flavors unchanged for centuries. On the alcoholic side, Cancun is inseparable from the global image of tequila and mezcal, spirits that embody Mexico's national identity. Bars across the city showcase extensive selections, from smooth añejos aged in oak barrels to smoky artisanal mezcals crafted in small villages. Tastings and flights allow travelers to appreciate the nuances of agave, often paired with slices of orange chili salt or even insects like chapulines, grasshoppers, reflecting regional traditions. Beyond tequila and mezcal, Cancun has embraced cocktail innovation, blending tropical fruits, herbs, and local spices into creations that feel both refreshing and exotic. A margarita here might feature passion fruit or habanero infusion, while mojitos are reimagined with pineapple and basil. Rooftop bars and beachfront lounges compete to create the most visually striking cocktails, complete with dramatic garnishes and glowing ice cubes, appealing as much to Instagram feeds as to palates. Beer culture thrives as well, with both commercial brands like Corona and Pacifico widely available, and a craft beer movement slowly emerging. Local breweries experiment with flavors like chili, cacao, or tropical fruit, crafting beverages that reflect the Yucatan's environment. For many travelers, sipping a cold beer while overlooking the Caribbean is as quintessential a Cancun experience as swimming in its turquoise waters. Pairing these drinks with local snacks, spicy peanuts, ceviche, or tacos, creates simple yet perfect moments where flavor, place, and atmosphere harmonize. Food and drink in Cancun are not isolated experiences. They are bridges between past and present, between locals and visitors. Ancient Mayan traditions survive in dishes like tamales, steamed in banana leaves, while global influences shape modern fusion menus. Markets carry the echoes of centuries-old practices, yet they coexist, with Michelin-inspired kitchens that attract international acclaim. Similarly, tequila shots shared in lively bars connect strangers instantly, just as family dinners of sopa de lima connect generations quietly at home. Gastronomy here is more than consumption. It is a language of continuity, adaptation, and connection. One of the most profound ways this becomes evident is through culinary storytelling, where each dish reveals history. A plate of cochinita pibil tells of Mayan rituals and colonial exchanges that introduced citrus fruits to the region. Ceviche reflects both indigenous techniques of curing fish and Spanish influence from the arrival of limes and onions. Even Modern cocktails infused with chili and tropical fruits tell of a globalized world meeting a local identity rooted in place. Travelers who approach food with curiosity discover that every flavor is layered with meaning, making meals in Cancun not just delicious but educational. In this sense, gastronomy becomes a journey of cultural immersion equal to exploring ruins or swimming in cenotes. Eating connects travelers to daily life, festivals, and ancestry in ways that transcend sightseeing. A market stall taco teaches as much about Cancun's identity as a museum exhibit. A shared beer with locals reveals as much as a guided tour. Through food, travelers participate rather than observe, and in doing so, they carry a piece of Cancun with them long after they leave. This is the quiet power of gastronomy, its ability to transform visitors into participants in a living culture where history, geography, and humanity merge on every plate and in every glass. As Cancun has risen to global prominence, it has embraced not only beaches and nightlife, but also food tourism, recognizing that travelers increasingly seek destinations through flavor. Culinary tours now stand alongside snorkeling and archaeological trips on itineraries, guiding visitors beyond resorts into the heart of local cuisine. Some tours highlight traditional cooking experiences, where participants visit markets with chefs, select ingredients, and then learn to prepare classic Yucatan dishes like cochinita pibil or sopa de lima. Others offer street food crawls, walking through downtown Cancun to sample tacos, tamales, and sweets while learning the stories behind them. These excursions transform eating into education, allowing travelers not just to consume but to engage, understanding why accioti is sacred, why lime is essential, or why corn is more than food but a cultural cornerstone. Beyond the city itself, culinary excursions into the Yucatan Peninsula expand the experience further. In small villages, visitors discover family-run eateries where recipes have been passed down unchanged for generations. There, tamales might still be cooked underground in pipe ovens, reflecting Mayan techniques, or honey from stingless bees is served in drinks and desserts, carrying the flavor of ancient practices. Inland towns host festivals dedicated to specific foods, such as chili, honey, or corn, inviting outsiders to witness community pride and flavors deeply tied to land and identity. For many travelers, these excursions become highlights of their trips, moments where the glamour of Cancun's resorts gives way to authenticity, where taste buds become guides into the region's soul. Equally important in the modern era is sustainability in gastronomy, a growing movement that seeks to balance tourism with ecological responsibility. Cancun, dependent on its natural beauty, has recognized the need to protect resources while feeding millions of visitors annually. Restaurants increasingly focus on farm-to-table and sea-to-table concepts, sourcing ingredients locally to reduce transport emissions and support regional farmers and fishermen. Menus highlight seasonal availability, encouraging guests to enjoy fruits and seafood when they are most abundant and sustainable. Some establishments partner with cooperatives that practice ethical fishing, ensuring lobster and shrimp populations are preserved. Others reduce waste by composting, minimizing single-use plastics, or creatively repurposing ingredients. This emphasis reflects a broader awareness that gastronomy is not only about pleasure but also about responsibility to the land and sea that sustain it.